Morris, sorry about that.
My name is Worth Beckman. I live in Pollock Pines. I work for Vernon Pearson, and I'm employed as the Deputy District Attorney. The ordinance in question, as I understand the sheriff, there are counties in this state that are perceived as pro-marijuana, and there are counties that are perceived in this state as anti-marijuana. For better or for worse, El Dorado County is now perceived as pro-marijuana, and that attracts a criminal element who is interested in the commercial cultivation and distribution of marijuana for economic gain. Mr. Pearson has enacted guidelines. If this ordinance is repealed, as I understand the sheriff's logic, we will no longer be viewed as a pro-marijuana county. Mr. Pearson, who is charged with enforcing the law in El Dorado County, has established guidelines. And if a patient or primary caregiver has the recommendation or approval of a physician to use medical marijuana, and there is no evidence of sales, if a person is growing outdoors and they're growing in a 10 by 20 foot lot, which is surrounded by an opaque fence, not less than 6 nor more than 8 feet high, they can grow as many marijuana plants as they want in that 200 square foot area, and they won't be prosecuted by Mr. Pearson for cultivation of marijuana. If they're growing indoors, they can have 20 flowering plants, 20 vegetative plants, and 1 mother plant to ensure that they have a continuing cycle. And if they have processed marijuana and they have 2 pounds of marijuana or less, they won't be prosecuted by Mr. Pearson. Those guidelines are not written in stone, and we're more than willing in the office to take into consideration information from other people. We look on these on a case-by-case basis. Some people may need more than, some medical patients may need more than 2 pounds of processed marijuana. If they can establish that to our satisfaction, we won't prosecute them. And I think that there is a misconception here this afternoon, or now this evening, about what repeal of this ordinance would do. This ordinance makes it an infraction or a misdemeanor to violate the code. I've never seen a case where somebody has asked me to file a misdemeanor or an infraction complaint, and I do most of the dope cases in El Dorado County. So I thank you very much for your time, for your patience.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are you going to be available for some questions during deliberation?
I would like to ask you a couple of questions, if it would be possible afterwards. Thank you.
But I mean, it'll be after public comment. I'm sorry, but because you
Can you
brought
hang around for about a half hour is the question.
Can you? Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, your last Dagman is the last, huh? Dagman. Okay. Thank you very much.
Have to agree with my fellow supervisor that I personally want that in writing, that you're not going to do that. I mean, just saying
We
it.
have guidelines. I gave them to the guy from Sacramento Bee.
Sacramento Bee is going to be
Yeah.
a write-up. That's a great way
He
to go.
asked me for
No,
the
just kidding.
guidelines. I gave him a copy. I'll print up a stack of them. They'll be at the DA's office at 515 Main Street tomorrow morning.
No,
Oh,
it's.
no.